Once around a decade ago, I went to a friend's place and watched them play the GameCube game Animal Crossing for a while, and I thought to myself, this looks mildly entertaining, until his little villager pulled out an NES with Balloon Fight, and then another with Clu Clu Land. I'd never played either of those before, but by night's end I was hooked on them, and I went out and bought a copy of Animal Crossing for myself the next day, for a little more than the NES games within the game itself. 10 years later, I still consider Balloon Fight to be one of my favorite NES games of all time. And so, when I loaded up the recently released Ninja Crash from Team Devil Games and saw what looked like a Balloon Fight remake, I figured I was in for a good time. And man, it's such a burden always being right. Ninja Crash is best described as Balloon Fight or Joust, with more of a focus on a campaign and a multiplayer setting rather than just staying alive for as long as possible. The storyline consists of this. An undead warlord stole your master's precious cheese. You have to get it back. Go. Where the lanterns on your back come in, really, I have no idea. But considering your undead opponents did the same thing, I just assume that's how things get done here. Once those ninjas get those lanterns strapped to their backs and the game starts, the controls are pretty simple. Mash the A button to take flight, let go to descend, hit left or right on the analog to control which way you go, and hit the right trigger to throw items at your opponent. Wait, what was that? Balloon Fight didn't have items, you say? You're damn right it didn't. And that's one of the huge things that sets this game apart from its inspiration. Items range from bombs and kunai and shurikens that whirl around to more passive items like a speed boost, or extra durability for your lanterns, or a one-use shield against items. Anytime an item appears, it adds an extra layer of frantic fun to the game, but without taking the focus away from the flying. The other gigantic difference between Ninja Crash and Balloon Fight that will keep this game in my rotation for years to come is the addition of competitive multiplayer modes. The Team and Free-for-All multiplayer provided some of the most vocal gaming moments in my apartment in recent memory, and if you even occasionally have people over for a game night, you should stop watching this review right now and go buy the game. But if you only have one other person to game with, and the two of you don't enjoy competing against each other, the campaign offers local two-player co-op. I would enjoy online multiplayer with Ninja Crash, and Team Devil has said they plan on patching it in eventually, but local multiplayer is so fun that it's difficult to complain over all the laughing and yelling coming from the other three people here. So after all that, you're probably thinking, that's nice that the game's fun and all, but I'm a fickle person and I want to know about the presentation. Well, you're in luck, because Ninja Crash looks and sounds like something from its big Xbox Live Arcade brothers. Everything is bright, crisp, colorful, and animated well enough to put most of the indie marketplace to shame. In addition to the obvious layout differences, each stage has its own theme to it as well, from a cave falling with stalactites and swarms of bats to a city at siege from a rain of falling arrows that end up popping your balloons if you're not careful. The music changes for each stage too, and is just as choice as the stage itself, especially the La Bamba cover in the Oni Cave. It's too good. When it all comes down to decision time and you're asking yourself, is this game something for me? I can break that down and make it a bit easier for you. If you have friends that you game with locally, then the answer is a resounding yes. Probably more than just about any other game on the Xbox Live Indie Marketplace, as few games have made us yell and cheer as loudly as this during competitive multiplayer. If you game alone or have one other person that you play with and the two of you only enjoy cooperative gaming, we're diving a little further into possibly territory until we can get some online multiplayer up in here. The campaign, though enjoyable, is pretty short, and the only variation is the ability to pick a higher difficulty. Personally, I would have enjoyed an endless survival mode or something like Balloon Fight's horizontally scrolling balloon trip mode. But even with that said, I still see this as one of the more polished games on the indie marketplace, and if you only get 1 or 2 good nights of multiplayer gaming out of Ninja Crash and never play it again, it's still easily worth the 240 Microsoft points. So get out there, throw some bombs, pop some lanterns, and make your best friend call you a 4-letter word, because that's what Ninja Crash does, and I wouldn't want it any other way.